let's get into some beats. I've got a blank Ableton Live project open right here. Let's just start laying some stuff down. You know, we always go for the drum breaks. Maybe this time we start with some one shots. That could be pretty fire. Keeping it kind of simple, you know? But that's kind of been my philosophy lately with drums is I feel like sometimes I get the best grooves when I'm just like keeping it more simple, you know, not trying to do anything too fancy, you know. I feel like that's just the case with a lot of music. If it's a good idea in its simplest form, then it's just like a good idea. So here's been my process lately. I lay down something kind of natural by hand like that, and then I start creating variations. And then we're gonna really like beef this up with the drum bus, I think. Nice. If you feel like your drums are too repetitive, don't overthink it. A little bit of variation here and there can go a long ways. You know, it's just kind of about breaking up the symmetry a little bit. That was something that I was in my head about a lot earlier on, was like, I just loop my drums. It's like, so then just do a little bit of snare fill, just like throw in a couple extra kicks, you know, maybe drop out a section here and there. And it's all gravy, you know? He says, how many drum racks named TapDaddy do you have? About 91. So what I do is I'll sift through thousands and thousands and thousands of one shots that I've collected over the years. And I just make collections of them. I save them. Like, this is honestly just good advice, especially for like, I don't know. How many of you guys are working with something like an MPC like this? Something that you may have noticed is that, like, as you lay it out in the grid down here, it doesn't quite follow the layout of where these pads are. So what I do is I get a bunch of one shots. I just go sifting through thousands and thousands of one shots for stuff that's going to sound good together. And then I start, like, tapping around to see, like, where each of these keys are located. Because, you know, just kind of treating this like a MIDI controller. And then I drag and drop, like, okay, I want to kick here. Cool, that's my kick. Snare, the snare sounds like it'll work well with that. We need some nice light hi-hats. Yeah, maybe a variation of hi-hats with a nice open hat. And, you know, it's easy like that. I can just set it up and even put these in choke groups, like, you know? Point is I do all of this work and I save it as a drum rack so that I can just pull it out in an instance. Little setup things like that allow you to move really fast. When I was just getting started making beats, I would see all these other guys make beats in like an hour. And for me, I was taking much longer than that. I was like, how the hell do you do that? And what I realized is that it's a lot of setup that you do outside of the session itself. Like, for example, you might collect a bunch of sample material and organize it when you're not like in a studio session. You might save drum racks like this, you know, and just so that you could pull them out in an instance later, you know. Hell, you might even make drum loops so that you could just pull it out in an instance and have something to run with when you're in the room with an artist. I think that it's smart to kind of like have days in the studio where you're not really quite making beats, but rather you're just kind of doing housekeeping in your DAW. You're giving yourself all these assets and resources for just stuff, you know. Anyways, that rant over. Let's get back to the beat. Let's put a drum bus on here. I want to really maximize how these sound. Now that's kind of loud. It's a little harsh on the ears. That sounds really good. Okay, let's try that. And maybe we might even chop this. Now, sometimes something fun that I like to do if I am chopping like something that I have the stems to is I might dig through like, what do we got here? Vibraphone? And you see that kind of follows a similar thing. So what if we did it like this? What if we like literally duplicated this, but instead we just swap the sample? So I go like boom. And, but I'm gonna have to chop it again. You see, this would have been easier if I did it by region, but that's okay. So yeah, actually then, let me get rid of that. Let's do an all new. Let's do an all new MIDI track. Throw this down here. Woo, there's some good stuff in there. Let's straighten out some of this stuff. You know what? These drums sound a little bit too like bright, crispy. You know, maybe we kind of tape process them. I was just curious what that would sound like with the compression on. I kind of like that though. I wasn't expecting for that to really sound good, but it really just pulls that snare out. There's probably some mix engineer yelling at me right now going, why are you compressing your drums so much? Jesus. Let's move on to like bass. Okay, I'm gonna compress this to really just get this bass sounding louder, honestly. I like compressing this upright bass because it really brings all that rich texture forward. Oh, dude, that could be so sick. I don't know. Let's play with it. is how you make some jazzy hip hop. Holy shit, man. That's beautiful. I love walking the bass with some hip hop. That's kind of crazy. Maybe bust out some vibraphone. Possibly. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna maybe bust out a little bit of saxophone in this section and have that like lead us out. Oh, that's kind of beautiful. That little ba-da-ba-da-ba. Yeah, nice. Maybe a little bit of back and forth with the marimba. Or I could bust out my own piano and start laying things down like that. That might be cool. Yeah, let's bust out a piano, see what we can achieve here. Red tape piano. I love this plugin, by the way. It's just like a nice upright. There was something in there that I enjoyed. I feel like arrangement used to be a big ordeal for me. It used to feel like it was the most difficult part of the process to get from a loop to like a song. But nowadays, I feel like arrangement, it just kind of happens for me, you know? I just keep working at it, and then I come up with another section, and before you know it, there's a clear direction of kind of like how this is shaping, you know? But I feel like to get to that point, really what changed is just so much practice when it comes to arrangement. You know, I've just done this so many times that my gut instinct has been built up. Like that part of my brain has been exercised so much that I just see where I'm going, you know? So, I don't know, benefits of making beats a lot. Like just the more you do it, the more you build that instinct. I think we'll throw them into one more of these. And we might play them out on like a little trombone solo or something. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, but I kind of want to half try it. Change the warping to Complex Pro. Let's hear it. if I can get this warped right, I think that's gonna be good. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna try something really goofy, and you guys gotta promise not to laugh if this sounds terrible. That's actually kind of cool. What do we want in terms of intro stuff? Maybe we just have that in there, but like we keep it very minimal in the background. Dude, so sick. All right, now we just got to figure out how we're ending this. Just fade that out there. All right. Time. I think that's a complete beat. An hour, 25 minutes. Not bad.